Whether you're weighing up whether to employ people or you've planned to right from the start, one of the biggest challenges that most business owners face is whether it's time to start recruiting. But employing people is a big commitment and it can be hard to know exactly when the right time is. In my last video, I looked at 5 key questions that you should ask yourself before you consider recruiting. In this video, I'm going to show the 6 signs that it could be time to take on your first employee. Hi, thanks for joining. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rich Dean, a web designer and developer, former web agency owner and author of the book series Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency. My goal is to help anyone looking to start, grow and sell an agency to save time, earn more money, avoid the common mistakes and pitfalls, build a thriving and valuable business. Okay, so on to the main topic, starting with number 1, are you feeling overworked? If you feel like your workload has steadily increased to the point where you're having to work extra time just to get everything done, then it could be time to start bringing in people to help. This can often be particularly relevant if you only recently started your agency, and especially if you're running it on your own. In fact, if your workload is ramping up, then it could be a good sign that you've successfully got your business off the ground and all your efforts to market it and get it out there are starting to pay off. But it's also important to consider that if you are going through a busy period, is it a sign of sustained business growth or just a temporary blip? It can be hard to know for sure when you're in the thick of it, but what you don't want to do is start taking on permanent employees when you're busy, only for things to then go quiet, as you'll still need to pay those employees or let them go. Remember, there are other ways to reduce your workload, like outsourcing, turning work away, or increasing your prices. But if you don't want to do that, and you'd rather continue growing your revenues by increasing the volume of work, then this could be a sign that it's time to take the leap. Number 2, are you doing tasks that you don't want to? Being a business owner often means taking on tasks that you'd probably rather not, and this can be especially true if you've come from a more hands-on design or development background. If your passion lies in coming up with wireframes or visual designs or coding new solutions, then the idea of spending hours on admin tasks or trying to manage your business's finances may not feel appealing, despite how necessary they are. But even though running a business means managing lots of different types of work, it doesn't mean that you need to be personally responsible for all of it, especially the more mundane tasks. So an important question to ask is your time being used to maximize your skill set, or are you doing mundane or lower level tasks that could be handled by someone more junior? If you are, then it could be worth bringing in someone to help, and this doesn't just apply to admin work either. Even bringing on junior designers or developers could free up your time to focus on the bigger, more complex projects, or to give you more capacity to work on the things that will keep growing your agency. Number 3, has your agency experienced continued growth? Okay, before we get into this one, I need to ask you a really big favour. We're a fairly new channel, so it would really help us a lot if you could like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and also share this content with anyone else you think could benefit from it. It takes a lot of time to make these videos, so this will really help YouTube to recognise our content, and it'll mean we can carry on making helpful videos just like this. Okay, thank you, and back into it. So as I mentioned earlier, if you can see a clear upward trend that your business is growing and you have historical data that backs this up, then it could be time to start recruiting. And again, especially if you feel like you're working beyond your own capacity. The important part here is to establish whether this growth really is sustained and likely to continue, or whether it's just a blip. And as I just mentioned, data can really help here. So things like how many new business leads and inquiries you're getting, how many of those inquiries you're converting into actual projects, whether you're sticking within the time and budget that was allocated to each project, and your overall revenue and profit, so how much you're earning on a month-by-month basis. If you can look at all this data and you see a clear, continuous upward path for at least a few months, then this could be a positive sign. But remember, if you bring someone in only to then realise that the busy period was temporary, you could be left paying for an employee that you don't need or can't afford. Number 4, are your limitations holding your business back? There's a well-known saying by Halford E. Luckock, which is, no one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. Why this is relevant to business is because it means there's a limit to each individual's capacity and skill set. Basically, as a business owner, you can't do it all yourself. Even if you're an amazing web designer and developer, and you can deliver entire websites all on your own, which itself is quite a rare and advanced skill set, there will probably still come a time when even your own skills are not enough. Perhaps you've gotten by okay on your own creating smaller websites for those smaller, more local businesses, and even AI can help you take on some of the more complex stuff. But if your agency is gaining traction and you're starting to receive inquiries from bigger clients with more complex websites that beyond your personal capabilities, then it could be time to start bringing in people with those more advanced skills so that they can help you take your business to the next level. Number 5, can you afford to employ people? Even if all the signs are there and you reach the point where you're confident that employing people is the right thing to do, you also need to be confident that you're not going to risk your financial stability. If things go well, a good employee should more than pay for themselves, but you also need to consider what happens if things don't go well. What if you need to invest a lot of time training and developing them? That will almost certainly reduce your overall capacity. Even if this is just in the short term, it could reduce your monthly revenues and eat into your financial reserves. What if you hit a quiet period and so you don't have as much work as you'd hoped? This is why it's important to have a healthy financial buffer in place, as well as stable enough revenues each month so that even if things don't go as well as planned, your business can absorb the extra cost of your employees as well as ensuring you still get paid. But if your business is earning healthy revenues and profits and you have a strong financial foundation, then taking on your first employee could allow you to grow your agency even further. Number 6, can you afford not to? So, if we consider everything we've looked at so far, and if we then flipped it on its head, what happens if you don't employ people? Could it negatively impact your business and your own personal health and well-being? I'm sure you want your business to be successful and to run smoothly, which means earning good money, doing work that you enjoy, and having a good work-life balance. You may reach a point where employing people is the only way to ensure that continues. But as I said at the start, employing people is rarely an easy decision, and it's one that only you can make. As with any big decision that you make in your business, it's always worth seeking the advice of a qualified professional. So, speaking to a good HR specialist could be a wise move before you make any final decisions. Okay, so hopefully you found this video useful. If you've enjoyed it, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like more tips and insights for how to grow your business, check out my book series, Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency, which you can buy from Amazon now, and I'll share a link in the description below. And if you'd like to watch even more informative content, then why not check out this video here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.